Not everything that feels good is good for you. Follow my belief. What the hell does that mean? I think bliss, the first thing is bliss is highly misunderstood. One of the most popular spiritual prescriptions you'll see out there is follow your bliss. And it has been popularized by people like Carl Jung and, Joseph Campbell and all these psychologists, philosophers, psychologists. And, when I started my journey, I was like, okay, follow my beliefs. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean do what feels good? And that's initially how I understood that. Like, go ahead and do what feels good. And what I realized is that in that there could be a little bit of a distortion because not everything that feels good is good for you. And I did a lot of things that actually felt good, but that were just like, I indulged on like retreat after retreat, personal development material here and there, just like consuming as a way to stay one step ahead of the stuff inside of me that were just scaring the living hell out of me. So and it started becoming really, really obvious that sometimes when we interpret following one's bliss as doing what feels good, we can get hijacked by hedonistic impulses or hedonic impulses. It's just like the desire for instant gratification. And it had to stop me right in my tracks many times to really understand the meaning of that, the meaning of bliss. And I started just questioning what the hell is bliss? Is it an emotion? And I sat with that for a while and I came to the conclusion that for me, bliss is not an emotion. Like we can feel when we're in that state of elation, but it's not an emotion. The conclusion that I have at the moment is that bliss is a sense of the soul. The same way we have a sense of touch and the body will let you know when you get in contact with something. Feel like bliss is the soul letting you know that you've stepped into coherence with it. That you really dropped into that state where you are in coherence with what the design of the soul. And then I started realizing sometimes bliss doesn't feel that good. It's Julie's asking, bliss is a state of being you are aligned with your higher self. Yes, absolutely. That's how I interpret it at the moment, because if you look for the definition of bliss out there, they're going to give you something along the lines of, something that feels good, like elevated state of emotions and all of that. When I just realized that there are things that genuinely give me a good feeling in my body, but I also felt like they were dual in their experience. Bliss is something that when you really get to that state, it doesn't have an aftertaste. Have you ever had some sugar that is not good for you? Like imagine some of the worst quality sugars out there, saccharine or whatever. The first hit is like kind of nice in the mouth. And then after you get a weird aftertaste. It usually hits the back of the mouth here. You have this kind of weird taste, just like, what the hell did I just put in my mouth? It feels artificial. And that's the feeling that I was having with I call it self-sabotaging hedonic impulses. It's like something that you do in the moment that feels good. It relieves some pain. It distracts you. And you confuse yourself into thinking this is bliss. You even rationalize it spiritually. And then it gives you an aftertaste after. And then after that, you feel restless. It's the experience of like, buyer's remorse a little bit. All this other stuff, I had a sense of buyer's remorse. But with true bliss, what I realized is it could even scare the hell out of me before I took action. Then, when I allowed myself to follow through with it, there was no aftertaste.